Long ago, when the prairies stretched endlessly under vast blue skies, there lived a young Lakota boy named Chayton, which means falcon in his language. Chayton was known for his keen eyes and swift feet, but he carried a heavy heart. Unlike the other children in his tribe, he couldn't hear the sacred songs of nature that guided their people. Chayton's grandfather, a respected elder named Wachawi, Dancing Wind, often told him, "Listen with your heart, not your ears, and you will hear the world's music." But no matter how hard Chayton tried, he couldn't hear the whispers of the grass or the melodies of the river. One day, as the tribe prepared for the great buffalo hunt, Chayton overheard the hunters discussing their concerns. The buffalo herds were becoming scarce, and they feared this hunt might be unsuccessful. Determined to help his people, Chayton decided he would find the buffalo himself. Before dawn, he slipped away from the camp, carrying only a small pouch of dried meat and a blanket. He ran swiftly across the prairies, his eyes scanning the horizon for any sign of the great beasts. But as the sun climbed high in the sky, Chayton realized he had wandered far from his tribe's hunting grounds, and he was lost. Exhausted and disheartened, Chayton sat down on a large rock. As the wind rustled through the tall grass, he remembered his grandfather's words and closed his eyes, trying to listen with his heart. At first, he heard nothing but the sound of his own breathing. But then, faintly, he began to sense a rhythm in the wind's movement. It wasn't a sound exactly, but a feeling, as if the wind was dancing around him. Excited by this new sensation, Chayton stood up and let the wind guide him. He walked for hours, following the invisible dance of the air. As night fell, he found himself at the base of a small hill. Climbing to the top, Chayton gasped in awe. There, in the valley below, was the largest herd of buffalo he had ever seen. Hundreds of the massive creatures grazed peacefully in the moonlight. Chayton's heart swelled with joy and pride. He had found the buffalo. But his excitement was short-lived as he realized a new problem. How could he lead his tribe to this place? He was lost, and he didn't know how to find his way back. Feeling defeated, Chayton wrapped himself in his blanket and lay down on the hilltop. As he drifted off to sleep, the wind swirled around him, and he felt as if it was singing a lullaby. In his dreams, Chayton saw a magnificent white buffalo. It spoke to him, saying, "Young falcon, you have learned to listen with your heart. Now you must learn to sing with it." When Chayton awoke, he felt different. He stood up, took a deep breath, and began to sing. It wasn't a normal song with words, but a melody that came from deep within his heart. As he sang, he felt the wind pick up his song and carry it across the prairies. To his amazement, he heard a response, distant voices singing back to him. It was his tribe. They had heard his song on the wind and were following it to find him. Soon, Chayton saw his people appearing on the horizon, led by his grandfather. Wachawi embraced him with tears in his eyes. "We heard your song, Chayton," he said proudly. "It led us straight to you." Chayton then showed his tribe the great herd of buffalo in the valley. The hunters were overjoyed, knowing they would have plenty to sustain their people. That night, as the tribe prepared for the hunt, they celebrated Chayton's bravery and his newfound gift. From that day forward, Chayton was known as Wikasa Wakan, or Holy Man, for his ability to sing the songs of nature. He became a respected leader, teaching others to listen with their hearts and to live in harmony with the world around them. As years passed, Chayton's story was told around campfires, reminding the Lakota people of the importance of listening to the wind, respecting the buffalo, and finding the music within their own hearts. And on quiet nights, when the wind danced across the prairies, some said they could still hear Chayton's song, guiding lost travelers home. The legend of Chayton, the boy who learned to sing with the wind, became a cherished part of Lakota tradition. It taught that true wisdom comes not just from what we hear with our ears, but what we understand with our hearts. It reminded the people that every creature, every whisper of wind, and every blade of grass has a song to sing, if only we learn to listen. And so, the prairies continued to sing their ancient songs, carried on the wind and in the hearts of those who remembered to listen. The buffalo roamed the lands, respected and protected by the people who understood their sacred connection to the earth. And the Lakota, guided by the wisdom of their ancestors and the songs of nature, lived in balance with the world around them. As for Chayton, it was said that when his time on earth was done, he didn't die, but instead became one with the wind, his spirit dancing eternally across the prairies he loved so dearly. And to this day, when a lost soul wanders the grasslands, they need only listen with their heart to hear Chayton's song, guiding them safely home.